and we have a repeat guest with us today, which is Boer Deng from RFA Investigative. Today you're here to talk about a different alleged spy in the UK.
Basically, back in November 2021, so it was a couple years ago, there was a Chinese businessman who, a document came out this week from a special immigration tribunal in the UK that codenamed him H6. And he was stopped and had his phone seized because there were some very suspicious things that the UK authorities were looking into. And on that phone, they uncovered some messages. So one of the things they uncovered was that he was very, very close to Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. Prince Andrew was quite close to this fellow H6, who had become a sort of advisor to him, and he was so close to Prince Andrew that he was authorized to do business deals on behalf of him. He was a big representative for one of his big business initiatives in China. And on that same phone, it was also discovered that H6 had communications with the Chinese embassy in which he was given what looked like talking points for business that he was doing with and on behalf of Prince Andrew. Now, obviously, this set off a lot of alarm for UK authorities and intelligence services. An immigration court order banning him from the UK, he was subsequently, barred from entry, came into light. So what was very exciting is RFA, my team, actually was able to break the name of this alleged spy. His name is Yang Timbo, and he's a Chinese businessman who has been in the UK for quite a long time and had stunning access to, members of the top echelons of British society. We also uncovered that he had been photographed at least once with the former Prime Minister Theresa May and twice with the former Prime Minister David Cameron, whom he actually said in an interview to Chinese state television that he met at a 10 Downing Street party while David Cameron was in office.
So I wanted to talk about RFA Investigative's role in this story, which was breaking the name Yang Timbo. So the report said that RFA Investigative used information from the court ruling to identify him. So what information did you get from the ruling, and how did that lead you to Yang Timbo?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and it was also it's quite fun. I don't know if I should say that, but it was quite stunning because the ruling had so many, it all but named him. It had so many details about this guy that you almost couldn't have not found him. It had his date of birth. It had the years that he was in the UK. It didn't name the companies that he had founded. He's founded quite a few, but it disclosed, the years that one of his main companies was founded and the fact that it had gone through a name change in a different year. It talked about the honorary membership in a specific club that he had been given a membership to. So it was very detailed, and you kind of wonder, they sort of want everyone to know, right? So it was really amazing because myself and my team, basically, we saw the news story in the morning. I sort of messaged a few folks on the team. I said, I bet we can figure out who this guy is. And we just got to work. We looked at corporate records. So in Britain, there's a public registry of records called Companies House where you can look up, the key figures, the years of register, similar to what you can do in the States. So we looked through Companies House records. We looked through Chinese social media. We looked through reports in foreign media in Chinese. And so by about 10 o'clock in the morning, we had a name, and then it was just a matter of confirming the name, getting everything we knew about him, and once we had a name, we could go into, we have a lot of Chinese-speaking folks on staff who are very, very well equipped with searching social media, searching Chinese text, and we could find, oh look, he gave this interview in 2019, and he talked about this. Oh look, here are some pictures of him at an award, and this is the award, and this award is actually tied to the United Front, and we can show that because these awardees are United Front people, and we can go on the United Front, the government website and find their names. And then we realize that one of the reasons why his name hasn't been published yet is because there is an anonymity order, on the tribunal ruling, and that's basically prevented his name from being reported in the UK. So.
I mean, Yang, for his part, states that he's done nothing wrong, and that was part of the reason why he, lifted the
The anonymity order. I know,
order.
it's such a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, and he's said that he's built a life as a private citizen and an entrepreneur in the UK. It's his second home, and he would never do anything to harm the country. And to his, there is something to that, right? He may or may not have thought that what he was doing was wrong. It is the case that, back when he was making a lot of these business ties in 2012, 2013, 2014, the UK was very eager to open doors with China. Like everybody was rushing in, right?
I mean, I hear that, but when you are getting instructions from the CCP on how to talk to certain people, I mean, that kind of sounds like, I mean, you'd have to be kind of not smart to realize that they're trying to get you to do something on their behalf, right? I mean,
but I think that kind of misunderstands like the relationship in China.
Okay.
Right? Like, again, under the regime, if you're a business person, if you're a person who's trying to cultivate any kind of cross-cultural ties, which is a thing that, is a good thing, right? Generally, you're not there's no way that you're not going to hear from the state, right? It's not a relation. It's not a society and a regime in which you can just operate independently the way that we do. So I do think there is something to that.
It's very, very nuanced.
It's very nuanced. Yes, exactly. I hear Prince Andrew is not going to be showing up with the royal family for Christmas.
I was going to ask that question.
I just want to say what we said in our stories and what other experts have said, which is that this is not an isolated case, and both the broadness and the number of people and what they're actually doing, and whether that is legally problematic or not, like those are very nuanced issues, and into whom those legal liabilities fall is also a very nuanced issue. And I think it's not just it's very easy to be like, oh, this China bad, this guy's a spy or whatever. But really, the West needs to look at itself and understand, well, there is a certain amount of fecklessness on their part too, and that's why we need more. That's why we need more people who understand China to be reporting about it.